Welcome to Tech Talk, y'all.
Hi, and welcome to Tech Talk, y'all, episode 365. I'm Adam Walker.
And I'm Sanjay Park, and now it's actually been enough episodes that you can listen to one every day. Yeah,
one a day.
This is the one a day episode.
Yeah. I
was a little premature last
really
week.
old technology news. But I guess that would be kind of entertaining to like go all the way back and hear all the stuff that was going on then, and like, wow, look how far we've come now, or see the thread of John Deere tractors throughout the entire thing. Like that's also a possibility. So,
or how bad our opinions were 7 years ago. And
what? No, my opinions were great. I was a connoisseur of opinions 7 years. No, that's true.
Connoisseur.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Man, that's an SAT word that you pulled out of nowhere. Connoisseur.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah. In this episode, we got to talk about the TikTok ban. We got quite a few articles on that. We got all kinds of other just random interesting stuff. And I have, of course, a tech rec at the end that I'm kind of excited about that I'm going to share with you. A physical product, and it's not all that expensive. So let's get started. Sanjay, what do you have for us first?
Yep. First up is, of course, TikTok, which you just talked about. Everybody's downloading a new Chinese social media app before the TikTok ban. I'll go ahead and do the next one too. Actually, all three of these. With a TikTok ban looming, users flee to Chinese app Rednote. And then TikTok users' attempted migration to Chinese app Rednote isn't going too well. One note, just before we started to record, I actually saw the news flash that the Supreme Court is actually going to allow the TikTok ban to happen. So that's this Sunday.
Yeah, it's going down. And all the users that say like, oh, it's going to stay up. No, it's not. They're shutting down the US servers. It is absolutely going down. You're going to open up the app on Sunday and nothing will happen. That's what's going to happen. So, which is fine. Like it is what it is.
They seem to be saying they're going to do it too. And I think there's a little bit of a game of chicken that's happening here.
Oh, big time.
Oh, you watch. All of your people are going to be upset.
They're going to be pissed. Yeah. And what's funny is all of the users kind of went to Rednote as a big sort of FU to the government. They're like, we'll just go directly. I mean, and Rednote is not owned by ByteDance, but is a TikTok-like app that is for mainland China. And so it's regulated like it's like an app on mainland China would be, which means that people are getting banned for all kinds of random stuff on there. The entire app's in Mandarin. And not only that, but like they are harvesting your data at a level that we have never seen before, because of course they are at that level. So there's been so many random stories. And what's funny to me, I was reading in an email newsletter that I get every day today. Duolingo reported an approximate 216% jump in Mandarin learners in the U.S. this period compared to this period last year, because people are jumping on the Rednote app,
trying to figure out what it says, and because they don't read. Mandarin.
And more updates there, like the Rednote app, like it's actually causing problems for users in China, because there's this huge influx of Americans going to it that are using it in a different way. So they're actually talking about putting the American users on a different server to separate them out from the Chinese user. I mean, it is an absolute train wreck of a mess. I will not be downloading the Rednote app. I'm not going there, but still, like, it is a train wreck. The whole thing is a train wreck.
I never installed TikTok. I've never had it on my phone, because
I knew that. Yeah. I love TikTok. I'll say this too. It's been interesting to watch, because the community on TikTok is a legitimately different community of people than are on Instagram Reels and different than are on YouTube Shorts. So the functionality is the same. You can just scroll through vertical videos, but the community is completely different. The vibe is completely different. Like on TikTok, I tend to get like encouraging responses, or like people actually connecting in a real way, saying meaningful things. On Shorts, I get people hating my fedora for absolutely no reason. On Instagram Reels, I just don't get hardly any engagement whatsoever. Like it's just a wasteland out there. So we are losing something that has sustenance and has real value here in losing access to TikTok. I would say that. So
can you? So I don't really know that, because I've never used the TikTok app. But can you do basically everything that you do on the app on the web? Is it?
Yeah,
like
you can.
an equivalent experience?
Yeah, it's the exact same experience. So I mean, theoretically, maybe the web will work on the shutdown, but we don't know because if the U.S. servers go down, maybe not.
Right.
But we'll see.
We'll
see what happens.
The simple answer to that is use a VPN on your desktop and be able to use the web that way.
Yeah, and I'll be testing it out just for funsies for sure, just to see what happens, because it'll be entertaining to like even on Sunday when the ban happens, just see who's on it. Like if you can even find out like who's left. Yeah, like it's so funny. So also, I mean, another article. Apparently China was kind of wanting Elon Musk to buy TikTok reportedly, which I can't imagine that being true. That seems like such a terrible idea, but there's a report out there about it. I tagged it, whatever. Let's please for the love not do that. But I don't know. So
but talking about other things, Chinese, OpenAI's AI reasoning model, quote unquote, thinks in Chinese sometimes. And
wait, you missed the other one.
Which one?
You missed the one before it. The Instagram alternative.
That's the Elon. Oh, I missed that one. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Instagram alternative pixel feed. I was going with the Chinese theme. Instagram alternative pixel feed now has apps. And so this is like a Blue Sky type of thing as well, right? Like it's
Blue Sky. Yes, the Fediverse. So it's distributed, whatever that means. You can explain it better than I can. And it's an Instagram alternative. I mean, especially with the changes that Meta's making right now regarding content moderation, it's got a lot of people very freaked out. And I think there's going to be an exodus from Meta in the same way that there was an exodus from Twitter. I mean, that's what's going to end up happening. I mean, like you and I left Twitter and I've never been back. I mean, so.
Yeah, the only time I'm back is if I accidentally click a link in a news story that talks about something that happened or posted on Twitter. And then I'll go there and then I'll see, because my account's still logged in, I'll see like a bazillion @ replies to me and they're actually not for me. They're for other Sanjays. And I'm like, this is such a dumpster fire than when it used to be then like 2 years ago. Like I used to get random @ replies back then, but they were humorous and interesting. Now it's like just a bunch of garbage. And I'm like, oh God, this is such.
Well, an interesting related to the Fediverse. I did see a video where Mark Cuban was like, hey, listen, if somebody wants to build a TikTok alternative on the Fediverse structure in that kind of a platform, distributed network platform, he's like, I'll help you fund it. Message me. So like, I mean, maybe they're all kind of going in that direction. I don't know. It's an interesting idea though, for sure.
Yeah. Very interesting.
All right.
Next up. You're gonna do that story that I was
now to yours. Yeah. So OpenAI's reasoning model, quote, thinks in Chinese sometimes, and no one really knows why. Now, this is a slightly misleading headline because it actually thinks in multiple languages sometimes. But like you can ask it a question. Like I think the question was they asked was like, how many R's are in the word strawberries? I think was the question.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And as it was reasoning through that question, some of its reasoning was in Chinese and a few other languages, which is like, so it's a question about an English word. But the reasoning for it was that's wild to me that would even happen.
What's scary is that second part of that, and no one really knows why.
Of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is like Skynet here. It's thinking and doing things, and nobody really understands it, and we're all gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's the nature of AI, right? The model builds itself, it builds upon itself. And it hits a point where it's so overly complex that no one is ever going to understand why. And then
and then it's going to decide things like humans are a virus on the planet, and so they should all die.
Well, I mean, my bigger question is not even that. My bigger question is like, what happens as the model grows and it's sort of outside of like the direct control of, the people over it or whatever. And then it decides, I don't know, to be racist. Like what happens then?
How do you fix it?
Yeah, can you just roll back the model? Do you add a bunch of like anti-racist training to its language? Like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Like it feels like there's this point of no return. It's like, well, we got to scrap all of that and start back over again. Like, maybe.
But what if like aliens come and the AI is pro-alien and anti-human, and then we're screwed, right? Like,
I mean, in all fairness, like I think any reasonable AI would be pro-alien, anti-human. Yeah. I mean, humans are the worst. Like, let's just be real, right? Like we are in so many ways the worst. I mean, just look at history, man. Like we're terrible. So
I think we might have just invented a new sci-fi novel where like the AI sides with the aliens that are invading. And then we're like, wait, now we got to fight a two-front war, one against the aliens and the other against this thing that we made.
That's it. I'm going to start working on that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
I think we just feed that to the AI and say, hey, write me a novel about this. And it'll be like, oh, interesting. We just gave it the idea of what to do against this. Oh, we're so screwed. So screwed. But in one way, maybe we aren't. University of Waterloo researchers engineer bacteria to eat microplastics. But is it a pipe dream? It actually, hopefully, is not a pipe dream. This looks kind of interesting. So they've kind of engineered this bacteria to be able to eat these microplastics. It's not something that's going to be deployed into your house anytime soon, but into wastewater treatment plants so that there is a way to get rid of these microplastics before they enter into the stream of water. Now, I think if we do it this way, it's going to be decades before we clean up all the waterways because I don't know if you realize this, but all of your clothes, when you put them into the washing machine, little bits of microplastics come off of them.
Yeah.
Like from the nylon and everything. And that's how that enters into the water stream and then into the oceans and everything else. And then back up through the food chain. So you're eating your clothes basically is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I do that anyway. So
that's good.
But here's the thing. This is also a dystopian novel in the making right here because the start of this novel is engineers engineered bacteria to eat microplastics and it evolved to eat everything else. And then literally the world is nothing but a wasteland at the end, all eaten by bacteria. It's all gone. There's nothing but bedrock left. That's the end. We're done. The aliens don't even have to wipe us out. We're going to wipe ourselves out with the bacteria that eats everything. That's what's going to happen.
We're going to start on a three-front war, once against the bacteria, once against the AI, and once against the aliens. And then it'll be just like, well,
that's it.
We're hosed in all of this. Yeah. I think we've actually built a theme for a multi-book science fiction series.
There's a series here.
So we in first of the three books, we fight against each one of these things. And then in the fourth book, they all come together and then we have to fight all three of them.
And they fight, they make Voltron is what happens. They all come together. They make an alien Voltron and then we have to, I like
the
that.
bad guy Voltron that is trying to kill us all.
Speaking of bad guys, lawsuit, Allstate used Gas Buddy and other apps to quietly track driving behaviors. So apparently they paid apps like Life 360 to install some of their trackers, their Allstate's trackers on your accounts so they can know how you drive and they can raise your rates according to how you drive or just kick you off of their insurance entirely. And this is a just enormous violation of privacy, in my opinion. Like, oh my gosh, who in their right mind approved this, both from the Allstate side and from the app tracking side? Like, why? Why would you do this?
Yep. I'm very glad that I'm not an Allstate client anymore.
I
used to be for the very longest time, but I am not. Because this is not okay. This is
not cool.
This is not, this is.
You can't do this.
I don't have any more words. Like, just no. This is
that's some skeezy behavior, for lack of a better term. That's just terrible. So
yeah. Talking about what's not skeezy behavior. 2 private lunar landers head toward the moon in a roundabout journey.
And one of these is the lunar lander that crashed into the moon 2 years ago. Same company, the one that just where they were going to land on the moon, and now it didn't land. It just boom, nosedive right into the moon. Like, that's that company. So we can hope for another nosedive, basically.
I mean, look, that's you just got to reframe it in the right verbiage. That was a unanticipated harsh landing on the moon. And I say this
time, didn't we call it an aggressive deconstruction? I think that's what we call it at the time. So
funny enough, we didn't tag an article for this, but Musk's SpaceX just had what they called a rapid unscheduled disassembly of their rocket. Everybody else said it blew up. But it was a rapid, unscheduled disassembly.
Okay, what marketing PR nut job comes up with that language.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I need to know.
Here's the thing. You know you're going to get made fun of because everybody else said, oh, the rocket just blew up.
It blew up. Yeah.
That's what it did. It's in a bunch of pieces, and you can see the picture of it. It's clear it blew up. There's a bunch of pieces flying through the sky on fire.
I think if I was going to say, I think I would say something like an unscheduled atmospheric warming event. You know, like it's the let's go with the fire theme. You know, I don't know. So
we accidentally turned up the temperature on Earth.
Time for the Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable snowman.
Not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
All right, next up, or first up in Weird and Wacky, judge ends man's 11-year quest to dig up landfill and recover $765 million worth of Bitcoin. He claims that he threw away a hard drive that had 8,000 Bitcoins on it. And with Bitcoin, you know, being close to $100,000, that's quite a bit of Bitcoin that he threw away. He's been trying to get them to dig up the landfill for 11 years, and he's been seeking, you know, different legal means by which this is in the UK, by the way. And the judge finally was just like, no, we're not. The whatever's in the landfill is the property of the landfill. They don't owe you anything because you think you threw this away. And no, we're not digging up the landfill because that's dangerous and hazardous in so many different ways. And the likelihood of your success is basically zero. So sorry, you're not going to be mega rich. You're going to stay whatever you are now.
Yeah. So. Yeah. He's blaming his girlfriend or his ex-girlfriend now for throwing away this hard drive because he said he picked up the wrong hard drive to throw. First of all, who throws away hard drives into the landfill? You shouldn't be doing that in the first place. You should be sending to an electronics recycler and not to the landfill. But I wonder, like, this story makes me wonder, like, what if the value of this thing goes up by another factor of 10? What if it goes up by a factor of 100, right? Yeah. Maybe if it's billions of dollars, maybe it's hundreds of billions of dollars, right?
Right.
At what point does this landfill company be like, you know what? Might be worth looking for this thing.
I mean, I bet the landfill company probably would love to find it on. They're probably secretly looking for it, right? They're like, all right, here's what we're going to do. Y'all going to shovel it, like pile stuff up during the day. But at night, the night crew, you're on hard drive duty. So.
Yeah. Okay. You guys, here's all the shovels. Go dig.
Here's all the shovels. And don't dig too hard because if you crack it in the process, you're out of luck. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Somebody else who's out of luck, but hopefully they will be in luck at some point. Some Paris Olympic athletes ask for their medals to be replaced after them quickly deteriorating. I don't understand how medals, which are made of metal, are deteriorating. Like, what do these people do to these things?
Didn't they say they were like, we're getting not shine? They were losing their shine or something. So like maybe there's like some like weird coated finish on it. And it was like poorly done, maybe? I mean, I don't know.
Y'all have been making these medals for a long time. Yeah. I feel like you should have figured this out before now. And not
they probably went with a new vendor. They're like, whatever the new vendor is, like the Olympic medal vendor. I mean, I think I'm going to start an Olympic medal production company. It seems like a good deal. So, you know,
Adams Olympic Medals.com. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of things that are not a good deal and are incredibly dumb. Walgreens replaced fridge doors with smart screens. Now it's a $200 million fiasco. So imagine this. You walk into a Walgreens and instead of looking through a clear glass door to see what flavor of Gatorade they have behind the door, you're instead looking at a screen with an image of the door or an image of the Gatorade on it to see what's behind it. And this is also that they can show you more ads. That's the whole point of the thing. The problem is the vendor built a crappy product that doesn't work worth anything.
Yeah. So there's so many layers to this. So first of all, who thought it was a good idea to blast ads at people when they're shopping? Yeah, I would find that to be the most
and they're triggered by motion. Yeah, motion sensor triggered.
Yeah.
Yes, right. Yeah.
This would be the reason why I would never shop at your venue again.
Correct. Yes.
Second, if you're Walgreens and you've got a new company, a new startup. Now, look, I'm a pro startup guy. Like, I'm a big fan. You should not do a deal that says we're going to install these things on every one of our stores, carte blanche. Maybe, just maybe.
Test it. Just test it.
Do a trial run. Do it on one store. See how well it works. See if people hate it. If they hate it, don't do it. They're going to
Yeah.
hate it, by the way.
Yes.
I don't understand why you would do this.
There's one more, though. There's one more.
Yeah. What's one more?
The other thing is, I don't know, if you want to show ads to people that are walking by a glass door, perhaps you have a very small screen where the ad would go anyway, and they can still see through the glass, and it's still motion activated, and it's the same ad space anyway on a screen that, I don't know, doesn't screw up your whole store. Like that,
Yeah.
like come on, that's the dumbest thing ever. That's like saying like, okay, well, my car seat's dirty, so it's time to get a new car. Like, no, it's not. Like, freaking clean your car seat. That's what time it is. Get a new car seat if you need to get a new car. Like, buy a seat, but don't buy a car.
During all this, when the screens were not working and stuff, their employees would go and tape signs up to let people know what was in that freezer. Because otherwise what customers would do is just, they'd start opening up doors. It's like what happens at home with your kid and the fridge, and they go and stand and open it up. It's like the stuff inside is not going to change. You can just close the fridge and then decide what you want and then open it.
Yeah.
But no, that's basically the approach they decided to take at Walgreens of like, we're going to have all the customers just come in and just open doors randomly until they find the thing that they want.
And it's $200 million, right? Because they're basically, Walgreens doesn't want to roll it out, and they're in breach of contract, right? I think that was what the article said.
Well,
so
no,
now
they've already been rolled out, but then the company blocked them because they were asking for more money and for certain things, and Walgreens wouldn't give it because these things don't work. And it's just like this whole fiasco.
It's insane.
Tech wreck, time to get your tech wreck.
Tech wreck. Chicky.
Tech wreck. Time to get your tech wreck.
Okay, Adam, it is tech wreck time. What do you have for us this week?
All right. So I got a thing off. I got it off the TikTok shop, which probably 2 days after this episode comes out won't exist. But it's a cube timer. It's a gravity sensor flip timer. So let me show you this. So each side of the timer has an amount of time on it.
Right.
And when I flip the timer down and say like 30's on top, a timer for 30 minutes starts up. And then if I flip it up, it pauses. And then if I flip it down, it starts again. And it's got like this nice, like little, like tactile vibration to sort of let you know that it's done it. And it has like a physical alarm, like a or it just vibrates to let you know that the timer is done. And so it's just an easy way to like stay productive. Like, oh, I need to concentrate on writing this for 30 minutes. Let's flip it down, start writing, flip it up when I need to pause it, keep going. It's fantastic. So
I like it.
And I think I overpaid on the TikTok shop. I think it was like cheap, but then shipping was $10. So if you're going to buy it, just go ahead and buy it on Amazon on the link that I said. It's like $13. And I think with Prime, it's free shipping. So it's fantastic. I'm really enjoying using it.
$13.99 on Amazon and free shipping. So with Prime.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying using it. So yeah, check it out. Sanjay, what do you have for us this week?
So I've got something that's a little bit more expensive than yours, but it's the Sonos Roam 2. So here's the thing. My wife was lamenting the fact that she could not, we've got a Sonos in our bathroom. So you could play podcasts and things like that while you're getting ready, taking a shower, whatever.
Sure.
But you can't really hear it inside of the shower as well because, it's a big glass door and the whole thing and echoes, whatever. So I found this. So the Sonos Roam 2 is actually a waterproof battery, like a rechargeable speaker that you can then take into the shower and have it play in there. And so that's what I got. And my wife is loving it, listening to podcasts while she's showering, getting ready during the day. And I got to tell you, it sounds like all other Sonos products. It sounds fantastic. I will tell you there's a caveat to this. And we talked about this before. The Sonos app was redesigned and it was horrible. And there was a uproar about it. The CEO of Sonos was just drummed out of the company. Yeah. There is a new CEO, and it's because of this whole fiasco. Yep. So I think things are going to get better for Sonos. They've kind of refocused on the customer experience. But I'll tell you, the Sonos Roam 2 is a great little product. You can carry it around wherever you want. You can take it out. If you're going on a picnic, take it out with you there. It works on Bluetooth as well, so you can cast directly to the speaker.
Nice.
And like I said, with all other Sonos products, it sounds fantastic. So give it a try. Sonos Roam 2.
All right, good to know. All right, Sanjay, how can our listeners find and connect with you?
They can find me at sanjayparekh.com. What about you, Adam?
They can find me at adamjwalker.com.
Dun, dun, dun.